Today, on episode 201 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, the NFL Week 3 Pick Show, our college football preview and recap, and the TCF Top 3 of Sports Equipment. Let's roll. Hello and welcome to episode 201 of Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Make sure you head to the main page on Twitter or X or whatever you call it. Type in typical_Chicago. Give us a follow there. Head to Facebook and Instagram. Give those pages a like as well. Go on over to YouTube, type in Typical Chicago Fans, hit the red subscribe button for all of our content in video form. And wherever you get your podcasts, we are there as well. Subscribe, rate, and review, whether you use Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, whatever you use, we are there. Give us a subscribe. You can find me on Twitter at BoomyTCF, and the gentleman that I'm joined with tonight, that is Zach at ZLilia TCF. Right before the show, we were kind of talking about being, early onset of cold season, and I think it might have a little something to do with the weather we're having here, Big Z.
Yeah, our teams are my team's cold, and it just might be the weather too. That just Bears suck, Cubs are stinking it up right now. I feel bad for Connor Bedard in a way because he has a lot of pressure on him now.
Yeah.
To try and help a whole city of Chicago be happy. White Sox fans, Cub fans, Bears fans. But yeah, the weather is getting colder and it is getting darker earlier, which sucks. It's like 7:15, 7:30, already dark. I don't like that. I hate this time of year. Well, I like this time of year in a way because I do like the weather for working outside, but other than that, like when it gets dark around 4:15 or so, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, not fun. But let's go ahead and jump into things. As always, we've got sinkers and floaters. And my sinker this week is Apple Watches. And that is literally because of sinking. A woman had to be rescued from an outhouse after climbing in to retrieve her Apple Watch in Michigan. This is outside of Bagley Township. A woman was rescued Tuesday from an outhouse toilet near northern Michigan after she climbed in to get her Apple Watch and became trapped. I'll be honest. I think I'd rather just die down there.
That shit can just have the iPhone watch or whatever.
Yeah, I don't care how much you spend on it, and there's nothing I'm crawling into an outhouse to retrieve other than like my son.
Yeah,
like
and even that, you'd be mad at him.
Yeah, oh yeah, very mad. But with my proneness to injury and stupid things that happen to me, let's just hope that
it was like a public one. Well,
yeah, it's like kind of a.
That's the worst.
That it's. It says if you lose an item in an outhouse toilet, do not attempt to venture inside the contaminant area. Serious injury may occur. That is.
There shouldn't have to be a sign for that or like a warning. That should be just known. Do not put your hand in poopy water.
Yeah. I don't feel like that's too much to ask for.
No, you'd hope not. My stinker though is I saw one at my parents' today. It was a praying mantis. They are the weirdest animals ever, though. Like they just post. Cool. They're like gross looking. You never know what they're gonna do. Like, and then one time they're over there, and like 2 seconds later, they're in a different spot. Just like you rarely ever see them move.
Yeah, but they're like I see them when I mow the yard quite a bit.
But I hate them. They're ugly.
I think they're pretty sick looking at. Like if I was ever to become like an insect guy,
yeah, you would be the ugly one.
Yeah, dude, they're sick. They look cool, but they're shisty, man. You don't know the kind of damage that they can occur. They just look like they're way more damaging.
Huge too.
Yeah, dude, I got freaked out the last time I mowed a couple weeks ago. One jumped up on my like by my feet on my zero turn, like how you sit there with your feet down. One jumped up between. At first I thought it was like a twig or a branch, and then this thing started moving and I was like, oh my god. I looked down, it was a praying mantis. So things are kind of cool.
You might not want to mess around with that. I mean, I think they're harmless, but they're just just look gross.
Yeah, they're very menacing looking creatures. My floater, on the other hand, is the Bears, and especially Raids. Not the one that we'll get into a little bit later. This is two bears on an Alaskan military base have raided a Krispy Kreme donut van that was stopped outside of a convenience store during its delivery route. So big news, with the Bears
Sounds
and
yummy.
potential raids. But this is two actual bears outside of the joint military base at
Not the Chicago Bears.
Richardson, not the Chicago Bears, but I mean, these guys are maybe hungrier than the Chicago Bears if they're willing to raid a Krispy Kreme donut truck. I mean, you might need to get those guys on the line.
The Bears would have fumbled the donuts, the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
But that does sound like an amazing thing to stumble upon.
Oh, if you're a bear just out roaming,
or a human.
Hey, yeah, that's fair too. I think but like bear, that's got to be a top 10 day as a bear, right? That's
got to be like, there. Go back to the boys and be like, oh yeah, we
guys, you're not gonna believe what we found today.
We got the mother load. My floater is like you were saying with the weather. Open windows. You get to open the windows this time of year. Get that nice crisp air inside. Sometimes like today it was raining. Nice to hear the rain and just have the windows open. It's a good time of year.
Yeah, that's a good point, dude. We don't talk about that enough. I live out in the country and doesn't have a ton of wind block. But this is a perfect time of year for that, especially like you were talking about earlier, like middle of the afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock, sun's going down, a little bit of heat, but also that nice breeze going all the way across. This is the perfect time of year for that.
Yeah, maybe not like in the next few weeks here when the harvest starts going, it'll be a little dusty. But other than that, it's beautiful. It's just like I said, it's nice when you start seeing like windows down in cars and stuff like that, and it means it's not too hot.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time of the year. I got to admit. I wish the rain would go away, but that's about it. Speaking of things that we might like to go away, let's jump into the TCF Sports Minute. We'll get started here with the Cubbies, 79-74 loss. We're recording this late Thursday night. The Cubs
8 games lost out of first place in the division as of this loss.
Yeah, and I believe they are now tied for the third wild card spot with the Marlins.
At this point, I don't even know if I wanted to make the playoffs because if it's going to be this disappointing and they're playing this bad at this time of year, what's the point?
I think Maddie said it last week. Like maybe they peaked too early, and that's kind of the feeling that you're starting to get.
You can't be losing to the Pirates. You cannot lose a series to the Pirates at this time of year when you're trying to make the playoffs, and they stink.
I mean, the Cubs jump off to, on Tuesday in the first game of the series and they beat the Pirates 14-1. And you're like, okay, we're back. And then you turn around and lose 13-7 on Wednesday and then 8-6 on Thursday. I mean, like you said, you can't be losing to the Pirates. It's
been nice. Now you have the Rockies in town. They're not very good either. You cannot lose. You got to sweep this at this point.
Yeah. And it appears that Tyone will be starting tomorrow or today, on Friday. So you never know what you're going to get with Tyone. And then you get Wicks on Saturday and Assad on Sunday. But you got to go out and win these games. I mean, this is very simple. I mean, we're getting right near the end. And
that should be good enough to beat the Pirates. But when you give up 8 to the Pirates.
It's very frustrating because, and like I said, if you could take us back to March and tell us that this team and this roster would be, tied for the third wild card spot with 2 weeks left, not even 2 weeks left of the season, we'd be pretty happy about it. But when you see a team's potential and how they can play,
where they were on the 8-game winning streak, and they were only 3 games out of first place in the division at one point, and you're thinking, oh, if we can get to the last series, maybe we can do something with the division. The division's over with. And we're just going to be lucky to be in that third wild card spot at this point if we keep playing like this, because it's the last series at Wrigley Field. Then they go to, is it Atlanta, I think?
I'm pulling it up
here. And then they end the season with the Brewers. So it's not going to be easy here the next few weeks. I mean, I guess the next week. And you've already shown you can lose a series to the Colorado Rockies. So,
yeah, it's got to be a big, final 10 days. It's got to be a big push
It
here.
seems like every day it's like, oh, it's a must win. It's a must win. It's like, well, at some point you gotta keep winning.
Yeah, yeah. We can only call it a must win, for so long. So frustrating, I think, to say the least. On the other side of town, talk about frustrating. The White Sox 58-95. We talked about it last week. They
You
are
know what? At least they know they're out of it. There's no potential of it. Like you were saying with the Cubs, it's like you almost didn't want to get your hopes up.
Yeah, yeah, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope they get into that third wild card spot. They get into the NLDS, and crazy things happen. Like, I would love to see that.
Baseball's a weird sport, but we're also seeing what can happen with one month you're good and 1 month you're not good.
Yep. So we will see. Obviously, we'll not be seeing the White Sox. I'm very interested to see what their offseason is going to look like. I did see they hired an assistant GM. He was the player personnel development guy in Arizona. I think that's a good hire, but there's so many question marks and so much unknown with the White Sox going
really
forward with Chris Getz that
you just gotta hopefully trust the new management, which I don't know. The same guy who hired the last one is still there. It's like it seems like it's a never-ending cycle, and it's the same thing with the Bulls too.
Yeah, this is a big
get rid of Garn Pax, and you're like, oh, you're just so excited that they're gone, and then the new guys come in and really haven't done much better.
I see. I think I'm starting to go. I know basketball season's right around the corner, but I think I'm starting to go a little bit the other way. I think that this is going to be a big year, but I'm very interested to see how things go after this year for Karnisovas. I still think he's the right guy for the job. I do not want him run out of town.
I hope.
But there's so many things that went wrong that I can't put on him. Like Lonzo Ball getting hurt, that's not on him, right?
No, but then Lauri Markkanen leaves, and then he's an all-star, and and really didn't make many moves last offseason to do anything to make the team better. You were just hoping that the pieces that they had would get better, and they didn't. So,
but also we talk about this a lot with the White Sox, like how much of this trickles all the way up to Jerry Reinsdorf.
That's what I mean. It's the same thing with both teams. And then now the White Sox, they were happy to get rid of Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn, and then they go and hire pretty much from within, and it's a cycle.
Yeah, vicious cycle. Also, speaking of vicious cycles, the Bears, I don't know, dude. I'm not trying to sit here and pile on because there's not a whole lot more I can say, but this is an absolute dumpster fire.
It's not good. I didn't think the defensive coordinator, if I can say that right, resigns. There's a whole thing. The Halas Hall was never raided by the FBI or anything, but there was a whole thing. Even for that story to be written about the Chicago Bears is just how crazy things have gotten. And then you got Justin Fields going out there and kind of throwing coaches under the bus, and then trying to come away from it, saying that he didn't mean it that way and this and that.
That's such a PR guy got to him. You know what I mean? I don't everybody's like, oh, that's a whole lot of nothing. I'm like, there's definitely some bit of truth behind that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
It's an all around bad look, right? It's the thing is I think they talked about it on the mid show in Barstool Chicago this week. You didn't think that things could get worse than last season, right? 3-13, you were in a lot of games, saw, better play on the field. And now you come in with the money you spent in the offseason and the draft picks and all this stuff and all the trades and how much better things are going to look in Eberflus's second year. And now you're week 3 and you don't have a defensive coordinator. You have all of this nonsense going on. For us to even see that tweet that Halas Hall got raided and we all kind of took that second, we're like, well, I guess things are crazy.
If it's going to happen. It's going to happen to the Bears.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think are the Bears in a worse spot right now than they were 3 years ago?
I'd say no, for the simple fact of, the season could go bad and they could still have 2 top 5 picks. So there's still hope if for some reason everything goes horribly wrong. But we do got to realize it's only week 3, and we're playing the Chiefs, which you can pretty much chalk it up as a loss. From the beginning of the season,
13 points is a lot to cover, though. Like
I'm not saying. I'm not saying that. Well, we'll go into the picks. I don't actually think that's a crazy number, honestly.
I think it's right on it if we're being honest. But like also, yeah. I see a lot of.
They could be good. They could still be somewhat decent. I think football is a weird game where, if you can find some momentum, anything can happen. But at some point in the next 4 or 5 weeks, you're going to have to figure out if you're good or bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of decisions, and I still don't think it's time. Like I see a lot of people on Twitter like already being like, "Oh, Ryan Pace isn't the guy. This is a dumpster." But like, you got to give the guy a little time.
Well, and also you think about it, as badly as they played on Sunday, they had a chance to go down the field and win the game or tie it.
Yep. And it also, I think one thing we didn't mention was the mic'd up clip where DJ Moore was told they're not using you right, and he said, "Tell me about it." Like, it's just another.
I know that you shouldn't say that and stuff like that, but he's right. They are making him what they're making Justin Fields the quarterback that they want him to be, and not what he's up to his abilities. You know what? Yep. Sometimes you gotta adjust to the quarterback skills, and he's one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the NFL using his feet.
Use it.
So I don't know why we're trying to make him a pocket quarterback. At some point, it's not on Justin Fields, it's on the people that are calling the plays. It's just, it seems like Matt Eberflus is like, well, we're going to run the offense one way, and that's the only way, and that's just not how it works.
I think you make a good point. Like, that's such an old school way of thinking. Like, you have to do it the NFL way, right? Pocket passers, and like, let's be honest, like Justin Fields' 3-step drops are bad. Like, he's slow.
Well, and we have an offensive line that doesn't give you much time. Also, with when you're trying to drop back, might as well try and do something different.
How about some designed runs? How about not ever? I mean, like, it's getting to a point where, like, I obviously watching both Bears games this year, like, there's, even as a dumb fan, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a screenplay. Like, if I can tell from watching it on TV, then the defense sure as hell knows it's coming. You know what I mean? It's just like, why did he
didn't play good at all. I can understand that, but it's almost like he got set up because at some point he's not as bad as it looks out there, and you need to make him more comfortable.
Yeah, I agree. So looking at it this week,
Kansas City. It's always drama.
Kansas City this weekend, 13 points. Do you think there's any shot that the Bears make this a game?
No, I don't think so at all. And I'm not even saying that makes them a bad team, but they're in a weird spot going into Kansas City. They're rolling. They got Travis Kelce back. They got Chris Jones back.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be tough. It's one of those games that if they lose this game by a bunch, I mean, you just got to, like, forget about this week.
Yeah. You almost have to, like, just
but that's also the time where the Bears go out there and somehow go out there and win, and then we'll lose the next 4 games or something.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And I think that their schedule gets a little bit easier after this week, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to pull it up here. They get the Broncos.
Not looking that great. So the division. I
mean, let's be real. The whole division's not great. The Lions lose to the Seahawks. The Packers are, 1-1. Probably, could have been 2-0. But you're dealing with another kind of not a true-fledged rookie, but a rookie
quarterback.
Do think.
I think a team from the division is going to be close to 500.
Yeah. And as a Packers fan, I'm like, well, there's a road, if
as a Bears fan too, it's like one of those things. You're only 0-2.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they have the talent, or whatever, but they do. I mean, we got to use DJ Moore. We got to use the quarterback the right way, and the defense has got to play better. But
has Cole Kmet completely fallen off the face of the earth?
Well, it seems like they just don't even throw the ball to him.
Yeah. They don't throw the ball at anybody right now. That's the problem.
They throw it to the other team.
They do a lot of that. But before we move on, at least some positive news, some positive notes here. Big shout out to our friends over at Connect Roasters. We got to reach out to our guy Caleb. I thought I heard on the Compound podcast that their storefront is either opened or about to open. So check out our friends over at Connect Roasters Coffee. They make the best coffee around that you're going to find. It is handmade, handcrafted coffee. You cannot go wrong. Zach loves it. Zach's mom loves it. Dom Frederick loves it. Ian Happ loves it. You don't win gold gloves drinking bad coffee. All right, people. So connectroasters.com. Follow them on Twitter at Connect Roasters. If you're in the Bourbonnais area and they're open, we'll check on that. But check out their website first. Get on over to Bourbonnais, get you some Connect Roasters coffee in your life. So a big shout out to our friends over at Connect Roasters. Trust me, we would not steer you wrong when it comes to coffee. Zach, let's jump into things here in college football. A little recap, a little preview here of week 4. We'll start with the Illinois Division I schools. The University of Illinois sitting at 1-2. They host Florida Atlantic. Should be a win at home after a tough loss at home to Penn State last weekend. Northwestern also 1-2. They go to Minnesota. We've been over things in Northwestern, not looking great there. My Huskies sitting at 1-2 as well. Big one this weekend in DeKalb. They got Tulsa coming in before conference play starts. So big one in DeKalb. ISU, who surprisingly dropped the game last week to Eastern Illinois. They host freshly Division I Lindenwood out of Missouri. Could be a win there. Arguably the best team in the state, Southern Illinois, 3-0, and they take on Missouri State and Eastern Illinois, who is surprising. I've been doing these Illinois recaps for a couple years. Don't ever remember Eastern Illinois being over 500. They are 2-1. Their only loss on the year is to the MAC school Bowling Green. They play McNeese State, who's a great football program, but unfortunately do have a loss to the Florida Gators, as I spoke about last week and got roasted for it. And then rounding things out, the worst team in the state of Illinois, the Western Illinois Leathernecks, 0-3, and they go to Southern Utah, and it is an absolute dumpster fire in Macomb. So we'll see what happens, see if we can keep Southern at 4-0 and if any other teams can move up. Nationwide, the top 5 changes just a little bit. Ohio State sneaking into the top 5, Texas getting bounced. So we've got Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2, Florida State at 3, Ohio State 4, and USC 5. Let's go back to week 3. Some of the big storylines. My Florida Gators getting it done after a bad loss week 1, taking care of Tennessee, who everybody said was, so far back. Florida just played well and took care of business in the Swamp. Did you watch that game, Zach?
I did not.
It was a fun one. And then the fist fight at the end, guys slapping each other in the helmets. That was a cheap shot by Tennessee. So if you're a Tennessee fan, your players are scumbags.
Florida's got a real great past of great.
Hey, take it
great
easy.
players.
And by the way, I started the Swamp Kings on Netflix. It is way better than you give it credit for.
Well, it's because you're a Florida fan and they gloss over everything.
You're just negative. That's so far. I'm only 15 minutes in because I was on the elliptical, and 15 minutes in, really good. We don't need to cover all the bad stuff, all right? Too much negative press in the world. The other big story there, Florida State, even though they're staying in the top 5, they barely get by BC there. It was a tight one for an end, and as we all know, with Northern Illinois beating them, Boston College, not very great. So a lot of things to iron out there at Florida State. I do think they're going to remain a top 10 team, but I don't see them in the top 4 by the end of the season. And the last one, the game of the weekend, Colorado survives at home versus Colorado State. That game was banana land.
Wild. And the amount of people who watch the game at that time of night is insane.
I did everything I possibly could to stay up for that, and I only made it till about the middle of the 4th quarter. I remember
it was a late game, but man, that was awesome.
That was so cool. And obviously the storylines going into it, with Jay Norvell and the things he said about Dion, but
Colorado this week has their hardest competition.
And they will not have Travis Hunter out for 3 weeks with a lacerated liver from the cheap shot. That is kind of crazy, though. It kind of reminds you that, after these years of just kind of craziness and not having sports, people are still idiots and sending death threats to a kid. Like, it was a cheap hit, don't
stupid.
get me wrong, but, like, come on.
Yeah,
What are we doing as a society?
And even like Deion Sanders said, like, yeah, it's a mistake in the game or whatever, but he's in the middle of a heated rivalry, and like it's crazy in the game, and no, he shouldn't have done it. But if you really like it, if you take the time out of your day to do something like that, you are just scum.
Yep. I completely agree. Week 4 preview. Honestly, Zach, great slate this Saturday. I know you haven't been watching a ton of college football, but if you're free Saturday, I'm going to go down the games of these are just ranked teams versus ranked teams. All right. So Bama, Ole Miss, like that game. Bama kind of struggling. Ole Miss is in the top 25 right now. I did see that Ole Miss at Alabama is like 238-2 in their history. So
Not great.
not great at all.
But hey, sometimes things can change.
I just keep thinking that Bama's going to figure it out, and that spread is a little bit closer than I expected. Like you talked about earlier, another great one, Colorado and Oregon. That should be a fun one. I think Oregon's a really solid football team. This is going to be their biggest test for the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, that's where they'll really be tested. I mean, they almost lost to a team like Colorado State, make the awesome comeback, but I mean, they got to play a great game the whole time.
Yep. This is no joke. The next one out west. I keep forgetting how many good teams are out west. Man, UCLA and Utah, 2 ranked teams. Utah still hasn't put it all together. UCLA coming in playing pretty well. That should be a fun one. Oregon State, the sleeper, the Ugalele kid that was at Clemson is now at Oregon State. They're going against Washington State. Gun to my head, couldn't tell you the last time Washington State was ranked, but I feel like it was when Chris Leak was there. Or not Chris Leak, I'm sorry, Ryan Leaf.
See, I think that's why it'll be nice when some of these teams out west come to like the Big Ten, so they won't always be playing at like 11 o'clock at night.
I do think the Colorado-Oregon game is at like 2:30.
Well, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah. I know. I see what you mean.
And then did I see is it the Pac-12 and one other conference we're talking about combining?
Yeah, dude, this conference realignment stuff is nuts.
And then so that would mean teams would get kicked out.
Yeah. There's going to be, I mean, right now there's still Oregon State and Stanford are kind of on the outside looking in with the Pac-12 stuff. But on another note, the one big one here in the Midwest, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Can Notre Dame really put it together? Is Sam Hartman the real deal? Is he?
A lot of people are going to Notre Dame this weekend.
It's going to be a fun one. I do think Ohio State pulls this one out, but that's just maybe the Notre Dame skeptic in me. I'm not.
I hope they do.
Yeah. I don't know how much I can handle Notre Dame being, in the public, the top 5 anymore. But in the last ranked game, Iowa versus Penn State, whatever it is, take the under there.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of defense played.
Yeah, I mean, if you settle in on Saturday and you say, I want just some good old-fashioned Big Ten, run it down your throat, hit them hard football, this, I think, is
that game at 11?
I think that's the later game, I'll be honest.
Oh, it's a perfect 11 o'clock start.
Yes, it is. I'll try and pull it up. I didn't have the start time down for that. But, yeah, dude, I think this slate this weekend is incredible. I think this is 6:30 start. I think that's going to be the Fox game. So just a great weekend of football, especially on Saturday. I think this might be our best slate of college games.
Speaking of channels, the WOT, DirecTV stream, the WOT, the worst of all time.
I tried telling you this a year ago when we switched.
I mean, I went to turn the Bears game on the other day. Contract dispute with Fox. Contract dispute with ABC. It's like, what are we doing here?
So we got rid of like regular DirecTV back in COVID, like fall of 2020. And we kind of bounced between Hulu and Fubo. And we're back to Hulu. I love Hulu Live. It's got the best, you know me, I love college sports. Literally the other night, I think I had seen that some MAC volleyball team was playing. I think NIU might even been on, but like it's got all of those like obscure random sports with the ESPN Plus package. So make sure you flip
I
into.
want everyone to know that the whoa.
The whoa, it is. Well, here we are. I just realized that I screwed up and I did things out of order. So we're going to go with it anyway. It is time for the NFL Pick Show Week 3. Bad week for your boy here. Bad week. I
Ice
went
cold.
5-1 last week. I am currently at 4-7-1. Thank God for Maddie because I'm not in last place. Maddie, bad week as well. He went 1-4-1. He is sitting at 2-9-1. Pigoy went 5-1. Big week for the boy. He is at 7-6. That math is not right, Pigoy. Pigoy is 7. Something's wrong with the math here. 7-6 is 13.
Can you get to mine, please?
Give me. Oh, Pigoy's at 7-5. No one really cares about Zach's. He went 4-2. He's at 8-4. Just enough time for Zach to absolutely crap his pants here. So
in the lead.
Yeah, well, won't last for long. So obviously Maddie and Zach and Pigoy are not here. So me and Zach will give our picks and then I'll run down at the end. I will run down Maddie and Pigoy. So Zach, starting in the noon games, do you want to go with yours to start?
Yep. I'm going to go Vikings -1 at home against the Chargers. I think that they win this game. The spread, I guess, is how the Vikings have played the first 2 weeks, but I still think they're a good team. And then I got Dolphins -6.5 at home against the Broncos.
You got it -6.5.
Well, that's what I got them at. This was on the Sports Action app.
Yep, that's what it is right now. I don't hate either of those picks right there. I'm actually with you on the Vikings, and so is Pigoy actually.
That's a crazy number at home. I know that.
Especially Vikings, 2 0-2 teams.
They're kind of working through getting new players, but man, I mean, -1 and the Chargers are not that good.
And I don't think he'll be with them this weekend, but picking up Cam Akers could be huge for that team, especially if they can eke out a win here, get themselves back to 1-2. And then next week they go to the Panthers, and I assume Cam Akers will be healthy and ready to go by then. I like the Vikings at home, and don't be surprised if the Chargers fire their coach after this one, after starting 0-3. That guy's got to go. I also like the Commanders +7 at home versus the Bills. I think the Bills are good. I think they're still kind of feeling things out, but the Commanders are playing really well.
Josh Allen has been pretty wild the last few weeks.
And I know I said it last week. I crapped on the Commanders. They haven't played much of anybody, but the fact that they're at home and playing the way they are, I think they're going to keep it close. I don't know if I got enough to sprinkle it money line, but I do like the Commanders getting a whole touchdown there. Move to the afternoon games. What do you got, Zach?
I have the Chiefs -12.5 against the Bears. I think.
Oh, it's a sad day when Zach starts betting. I don't usually do this,
but I just don't see how it's not a 2-touchdown game. I really don't. And
I look at this as almost like Tampa Bay again, right? I think they got enough to keep it close, but
I don't know what you've been watching, but
it's that whole like ebbs and flow of the NFL. Like I feel like it's.
I understand that, but I mean,
it can't get as bad as it's been.
The Chiefs at home. Travis Kelce's dating Taylor Swift now. I mean, place gonna be rocking.
Fair.
And then Seahawks -6.5 at home against the Panthers. Panthers stink, and I think the Seahawks. It may be a little bit too big of a number, but I do like it. 6.5 is a lot, but I just think the Panthers are so bad.
Yeah, especially Bryce Young not playing. He is out.
As a Bears fan, you want to see the Panthers lose as many games as they can this year.
So I also have the Seahawks -6.5. I think I actually took this one. It was 4.5.
Well, I mean, I have hot picks, so you might as well tail me.
Well, you can't even say I'm tailing you because I typed mine in at noon today, and I have to type yours in because you're a dummy who doesn't know how to use Google Sheets. So
I always just thought you liked doing it. That's really
no,
I actually
it annoys me that I have to do it if we're in the trust tree here.
Well, then you should have said that, because that just makes me want to let you keep doing it. You know what? I don't even know spreadsheets.
Oh, I love it. I've also got the Cardinals plus 12. Let's see. I actually, it's up to 13. I think the Cowboys are good.
Yeah, it's a big number for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and I
they're
thought
playing
the Cardinals
but
Cardinals fell apart in the second half against the Giants, but like I think that they're somewhere in between those, right? As good as they played in the first half.
The Cowboys just lost.
Diggs. Tavon Diggs.
Yeah, hurt in practice. That sucks.
Yeah, out for the year.
I think it was his ACL.
Yeah, that's what they think. I don't think it's confirmed, but it does not.
I think he had an MRI.
Yeah, it's not good. Sunday night, we'll jump into that. I feel dumb about this because I just know that the Steelers in prime time, but give me the Raiders -1.5. I mean, at home, I think they got enough to pull this game out.
I am going Steelers.
You're the only one
in Las Vegas.
And actually, I've got it down. I had it down earlier at -1.5, but I will give the Steelers to you at +2.5.
Thank you.
So, yeah, dude, it just feels like I feel like I'm going against my gut here, just like Steelers in prime time. I know it's on the road, but I just think Vegas has got enough to the P. They're not as bad as we originally thought they were going to be. And then 2 Monday night games. We've got the Eagles going to the Bucs and the Rams going to the Bengals. Who do you got there, big guy?
Well, you only picked one of the games. I got Eagles -4.5 in Tampa Bay. I mean, say what you want about Tampa, they still, after what the Bears did on Sunday, could have lost that game. And I mean, Baker Mayfield, he's out there hustling, but I just don't think. I think 4.5 with the Eagles is a nice number.
I still don't feel like the Eagles have played their best football yet.
No, I think the Bucs have.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you.
Week 1, I mean, they played about as good as I think they can.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And there was definitely times last week where you felt like if they were playing anybody but the Bears, they would have fallen apart. Right?
The Bears, as everyone's pissed off, they played bad, whatever. They still could have won that game.
Yeah.
I'm also pissed off at your dad. Right before that, like literally seconds before, he goes, "Well, this is gonna make or break. See if Justin Fields is gonna be
the guy,
great quarterback," and then he threw an interception 2 seconds later. I mean, that you couldn't have timed that anymore perfectly.
Take that with a grain of salt, because he said the same about Jordan Love, and then we watched the replay, and it wasn't even.
They kept saying, "Go Bears!" Hey, go Rams! They didn't do very well.
Speaking of the Rams, I'll take the Rams +3. I still think the Bengals are not very good. I know they're going to figure it out. They're probably going to be in the playoff.
Time of year, they haven't really put it all together. And I think that's a lot to do with not really having Joe Burrow during training camp.
And let's be honest, like the Rams hung with the 49ers. I know it was a 10-point game until the final field goal. I think the 49ers are a lot better team than the Bengals.
And that's also the same thing with the Bears. I think that what you're seeing here in the first few weeks, they should have done more in the preseason. I understand just preseason. You don't want to play that many games, but it seems like you're going out there the first 2 weeks and you're trying to figure out like the team.
Yep.
It's like maybe that should have been done in the second preseason game or the third one or something. It's like, I know you want to protect the players, and I understand that you don't want anyone to get hurt, but you also need to play football.
Yes. Oh boy, hang on. I just exit out of it. Give me just a second. Let me pull it back up. We've got Maddie and Pigoy's picks. So Maddie's, you're going to want to fade these. Like I said, the guy's 2-9-1 on the season. He has the Texans +9 I'm sorry. I was on the wrong week. I am falling apart over here there, Zach. They are +9 at the Jaguars. I think I do like that pick, though. keeping it close interdivision. He's also got the Falcons plus 3.5 going up to the Detroit Lions. We'll see. A lot of question marks there. In the afternoon, he is the only one that has the Panthers plus 6.5. He also is with me on Cardinals plus 13. He has the Raiders minus 1.5 and the Buccaneers plus 5.5. Pigoy, he has the Patriots minus 3. The Patriots are on the road against the Jets. Minus 3. I don't hate that pick. He is also with us on the Vikings minus 1. He also has the Chiefs minus 12.5 and the Seahawks minus 6.5. He is with me and Maddie on the Raiders at minus 1.5, and him and Maddie are riding together at Bucks plus 5.5. So let's see how things start to change here. If they do, if we can dethrone Zach. We can't let Zach win this thing. I gotta hold it. I've won 2. Maddie's won 1. We can't let Zach back into this thing.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited.
Well, Zach, as always, let's wrap things up. We got the TCF top 3 last week was balls. This week is sports equipment. Do you want to go first or do you want me to?
I'll go first.
Of course.
It's a good old bat.
All right. I knew that was probably going to be your
baseball
pick.
bat. I mean, it can be used for hitting baseballs,
golf balls,
or like an intruder.
Yes. All right, Zach, we're in the trust tree. Do you have a baseball bat under your bed?
No.
What?
No, I do not.
I think I have 1 or 2 under my bed.
Jeez Louise, you scared somebody's coming after you, huh?
Hey, listen, I never had anything home defense until someone broke into our car. We live like 2 miles out of town. Someone broke into our car in our driveway, and I've been loading up ever since. So that is a good one. I knew that was probably going to go first. I will go with a golf club.
Yeah. Also, same thing.
Yeah.
Also be used for self-defense and hitting the golf ball. And I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find other things to
hit a baseball, I guess, with it, but
if you don't like your irons that much. My second round pick, I will go with a tennis racket. I think a tennis racket is very fun. Obviously I've talked about this. I teach PE. We invented a game last year called tennis golf. That's one of the most fun thing to do, to hit a tennis ball as hard as you can. Because, like when you actually play tennis, you have to have like some control.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not in tennis golf, dude. You just hit this thing as hard. It is a very, very freeing feeling.
Is that your second one then?
Yep. Tennis racket, number 2.
So my second one is a disc golf. Because multiple things you can do with it. You just play catch if you really want to. I guess you don't really. With those, or you could go out and just play disc golf.
Or Beersby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you really need it. I like that pick.
Any sort of game you can make up with it.
I don't even think you need to say disc golf. Just say frisbee.
Yeah.
And my third one ultimate is frisbee, kind of like football, kind of not like football with a frisbee.
My third one, you probably should just wear one all the time. A nut cup.
I did not know that's where this was going to go. I don't know if I was ready for that. A nut cup.
Yeah, I mean, boy. Also multiple uses.
Fair enough. You put it on your face and talk like Darth Vader.
You drink out of it, if you really need to.
Boy, I was not ready for that one. God, that's a good one. Let's see. My last one, sports equipment. There's so many good ones. See, because I would normally just say basketball, right? But like that's a ball. We did balls last week. I'll go glove, baseball glove.
You like a catcher's glove?
Any glove, dude. I mean, there's just something about having a piece of leather on your hand.
That is true.
I think let us know what we forgot. I'm sure there's a million things. Another one I had ping pong paddles, and that's because I'm looking at my ping pong table. But
I'm trying to think of some more.
And like I said, we could go, and say
roller skates,
rollers. That's a good one.
A bicycle.
My wife would disagree, but yes.
What do you mean?
Well, my wife fell off her bike when she was like 12 and had to have brain surgery. So.
Well, I'm just saying. I thought she just didn't think that was a sport.
Well,
imagine your wife just has a giant stance against bicycling being a sport.
Yeah, she's like, the Tour de France comes on. She's like, turn this nonsense off. That'd be hilarious.
This is unreal. They get paid to do this.
Let us know what we missed.
Even though the Tour de France is one of the craziest things to watch.
Yeah, but also,
how do they not have a million crashes?
It's also like very outdated. I'm like, this probably was really cool.
They're within like a centimeter of each other. You would feel like going very fast up and down hills.
Yeah, it's impressive, but it's a little outdated.
It's also a sport that was ran by a guy who did steroids.
Hey, guy won a lot of titles. All right,
he did. He won a lot of yellow jackets,
yellow jersey. I think is what they call it. Yeah,
this is the Masters, I guess.
Yeah. Great weekend of football ahead of us. Make sure you got plenty of room on the couch. TV's fired up. Great
Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday, obviously, NFL. Man, it's going to be a great weekend.
We think next week the Ryder Cup?
It might be next week. Yeah. If not, it's in 2 weeks.
Because I'm going to the Live event, and I wasn't sure if Brooks Koepka was going to be there, but he will be.
Going to be an incredible weekend of sports, no matter
if you're around Sugar Grove, I will be at the Live event Friday, which will be today. So it'll be fun.
But we thank you guys honestly. That was episode 201 of Typical Chicago Fans. We can't thank you guys, our listeners, enough for the support, for checking in. It's going to be a great weekend. Make sure you check us out on all of our socials. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You'll find us Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Go to YouTube for all the content and video form. I promise it is coming. My goal is to have the next food review done by this weekend. It's just a very long video. So bear with me, guys. So thank you guys. Wherever you get your podcasts, check us out there. Subscribe, rate, and review. You know the deal. Find me on Twitter at BoomyTCF, Zach at ZLiliaTCF. And thank you for joining us. That was episode 201 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.